Shaun, wonderful job keeping this early season winning streak going.
Yeah, I know. We've got to an absolute flyer, haven't we? So, a couple of big games coming up. Man United, Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. What are the expectations, especially for that Man United game?
A draw would be nice at Old Trafford.
Just a draw? Are you sure? My scouts told me that they're poor compared to us, so I think we should be going for a win.
Anything but a loss, so a draw is fine.
Yeah, but Old Trafford, not what it used to be, I think it's fair to say, especially after we beat them there last year. 5-0 or whatever it was.
Anything but a loss.
Okay, look, I think we'll just do what we've been doing anyway. Go out there to win.
Okay, Shaun.
And thank you for that Jude money, by the way. I'm sure he's going to pay it back to you guys soon through an absolutely superb performance.
He needs to lift his game soon.
Don't worry, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Good luck, Shaun.
Bye, John. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of Quadruple or Nothing here with Liverpool in the FM23 Beta on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and coming up today is a double header. First off, it is a derby against Manchester United at Old Trafford in the Premier League, and off the back of that we play our first Champions League group stage game on camera as we do host Borussia Dortmund. So if you are looking forward to today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But first things first, today we are going to show you guys the highlights from the games that we have played off the back of where we did leave things at the end of yesterday's episode. If you missed that one, it included a Merseyside derby as well as deadline day and the group stage draw for the Champions League. I'll leave a link to that one over in the top right corner, but we have played two games off the back of that episode, and you can actually see the results there over in the top right corner. We did rotate our team quite heavily for both the games off the back of yesterday's episode, and we did get off to a good start here against Fulham. We're around about the half-hour mark. Roberto Firmino gets on the end of a ball there and chips the goalkeeper, a really nice goal. And then with 6 minutes to go, we put it beyond doubt. Virgil van Dijk coming off the bench, and we did pick up a 2-0 win there to keep an unbeaten start in the Premier League going, as you can see, very heavily rotated team for this game. Just Alisson and Jude Bellingham, first choice players who are in the lineup for that game. And as I said, a few first teamers did come off the bench to just make sure that we did grab a cushion goal. But yet again, with this vertical tiki-taka 4-3-3, very, very dominant performance in terms of the stats. And Fulham not really getting many chances there, despite the fact they have a quite good striker in Mitrovic. And off the back of that, we did open our Champions League group stage campaign away at Hungarian outfit Ferenc Velossi. Again, we started this game with the bulk of our rotation players, but we did bring on some Spurs stringers during the second half, and we didn't open the scoring until the 60-minute mark there through Roberto Firmino. That was 5 minutes off the back of a red card to another Adama Traore in football, this one playing for the Hungarian outfit. But off the back of that, we really did put the foot down. Luis Diaz off of the bench, scoring 5 minutes later to make it 2-0 Liverpool. About 10 minutes later, we grabbed a third. It was Mo Salah over the top for Diaz. That one came off the post, but then Firmino follows it up and just rolls that in the back of the net to make it 3-0, and we put a cherry on top with a few minutes left in this one. Robertson up to Alexander-Arnold, who did play as Mazzala in this game. We'll just try that out while Thiago is injured, and then Mo Salah puts that over the goalkeeper, comes off the bench to get a goal, and in the end we pick up what looks like a pretty convincing 4-0 win, albeit, as I said, didn't really click into gear in this game until the last 30 minutes, at least in terms of goal scoring. But again, pretty dominant performance in terms of stats, and it does mean we have started the Champions League off with a win. We'll bring you guys an update on the group table before the second game of today's episode, which is going to be at home against Borussia Dortmund, probably the toughest test we're going to have in the Champions League group stage this year, apart from when we have to travel to take those guys on in front of the yellow wall. But first things first, the focus today is on the Premier League and this derby coming up against Manchester United, and a great chance here for us to grab a big gap on top of the Premier League. 6 wins from 6 games so far, 5 points clear of Southampton in second, which is very interesting indeed. Our Twitch save is a bottom at Christmas. I started that last night as I record this, and the team we got were actually Southampton's. Very interesting to see the complete switch around of how they're doing in this save compared to that one over on Twitch. But you can see if we win this game, 10 points clear of teams like Man City, Arsenal, as well as Chelsea. That would be a very nice position to be in at this early stage of the season. And hopefully we can pick up a win here and keep Manchester United outside of the European spots. As you can see, they've started off the season with 3 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses on 10 points after 6 games. This would be a big win away at Old Trafford, albeit Liverpool's record there over the past few seasons in real life was pretty good up until this current season. But here are Manchester United going into this game. Still Erik ten Hag in charge of them. I have seen a few saves where Thomas Tuchel does take over, but at this stage of the save, Erik ten Hag is still in charge. And their last known lineup, they were playing a 4-2-3-1, albeit if we do go back to the homepage, you will see they are missing a few players for this game. Both Fred and Bruno Fernandes are suspended. We are still missing Kostas Tsimikas off of the back of the red card that he picked up against Everton in yesterday's episode. And also Thiago, not quite fit enough to start this game. That does mean Jude Bellingham is going to play as a Mazzala, and Jordan Henderson will start as the box-to-box midfielder, and Thiago, not quite up to a full green hat, is recommended for 60 minutes. We'll play him from the bench in this game, and hopefully he will be fit enough for the second one against Borussia Dortmund. Also worth mentioning, most of our injured players are not that far away from recovering, starting to enter the general rehab phase of the recovery, and those are the players like Curtis Jones and Oxlade-Chamberlain, who could really help us boost our depth in the midfield, and it might mean we can even send Arthur home from his Juventus loan a little bit earlier than we were thinking, because at the moment, not a player I am thinking about giving much game time to in this save. But as you can see, we're pretty much at full strength going into this one. Just that one change with Thiago out and Hendo coming in, the club captain, and we'll come back shortly with the team sheets from Old Trafford's work to stay unbeaten in the Premier League as we take on Manchester United. And quite astoundingly, we don't actually have TV coverage for this derby, so we're going to have to show you guys the team sheets here from this page. As you can see, our team before, as we did run through on the left-hand side, there is Manchester United, still Harry Maguire and Ronaldo starting for a Ten Hag team, which is very interesting, but hopefully we can pick up another win here and go 8 points clear on top of the Premier League. And it only takes 1 minute for our first highlight of this derby at Old Trafford. We are in our white trippy uniform. Man United, of course, are at home in the red. We make our way inside the box early. Now, there could be a penalty for that foul on Alexander-Arnold, which looked very, very innocuous. Not too sure if it should be a penalty, but it's been given. And here's a great chance, nice and early here at Old Trafford, for us to grab a 1-0 lead. Really not sure if that should have been given as a penalty, but Mo Salah sends David De Gea the wrong way, and we take an early lead here at Old Trafford. As I said, very, very debatable penalty, but we'll take those, and we grab a nice and early 1-0 lead here in the derby. And we go forward around about the 15-minute mark for our next highlight off the back of that early penalty here in this Northwest derby. Some good pressing from us here, and we do get the ball back there thanks to Jordan Henderson. Plays that for Jude Bellingham, but can't quite link up there. Gives the ball to Casemiro, albeit he gives it straight back to Alexander-Arnold. Sancho there with an interception. It's a deflected shot, goes straight into the hands of Alisson Becker. So we nearly give Man United there a decent chance, but now we are back down the other end for a corner of our own, and Virgil van Dijk just puts that the wrong side of the post. So it's been a pretty good start from us here, as you can tell by the stats. We'll just get Mo Salah to ease off tackles on a yellow card before we do have this next highlight at the 20-minute mark, and David De Gea is going to play things short. We're putting some good pressure there on Man United as they do look to play out from the back. Jude Bellingham passes that one back to Virgil van Dijk. Joel Matip not willing to go on an adventure at this time, but Mo Salah tries to put that over for Nunez, but Casemiro gets the ball back here for United, albeit Alexander-Arnold. Good little tackle there to get possession back for us, who said that he couldn't defend, and we play this back to Alisson Becker, gets us up to Fabinho, and it's been a pretty good looking start for us here already with that 1-0 lead thanks to that penalty, albeit we lose out on possession there, and Man United get a chance to play out from the back, albeit Harry Maguire takes far too much time there on the ball. Mo Salah, great chance to make it too, but Rafael Varane clears that off the line just before it can creep over into the back of the net. So Harry Maguire nearly putting Manchester United there in a bit of trouble, and yet another highlight here not too long off the back of that previous one. Robbo just takes it out to our left-hand side, plays it to Virgil van Dijk, and in now to Fabinho. Poor pass from him, looking for Jude Bellingham. Obviously, our players still looking to get used to playing with Jude Bellingham. I think it is fair to say, but he has played all of our games since he has arrived from Borussia Dortmund. And we get this ball out now to Mo Salah. Lovely ball for Darwin Núñez, but De Gea there makes a good save low and to his left. And yet again, another highlight here in this big passage of highlights, which we have had since the 15-minute mark, and it is Man United looking to come from their own goal. And it's a good interception there, but Darwin Núñez yet again this time forces a really good save out of David De Gea. And at the 24-minute mark, still 1-0 Liverpool, and yet another highlight free kick there to United, but Andy Robertson plays that one back to Alisson Becker. Hopefully, we eventually find Trent here on the right-hand side in a lot of space, and we now get it up to Mo Salah. We'll switch this out to Jude Bellingham. Not the greatest idea, but thankfully, Virgil van Dijk is there to tidy things up for us. He goes on a little bit of an adventure of his own, but they do win the ball back there to United, but Varane takes too much time on the ball. Darwin Núñez from a tight angle will beat David De Gea. That is a great bit of work from the Uruguayan striker, and we make it 2-0 here at the 25-minute mark, and you can already see we're putting some good pressure here on the Manchester United defence, and it pays dividends there. Rafael Varane this time taking too much time on the ball, as we saw a little while ago. Mo Salah did the same to Harry Maguire, and this time we put the ball in the back of the net and make it 2-0 Liverpool at Old Trafford. And that is half-time here in this Northwest derby. Brilliant first half, as you can tell by the stats, just in complete domination and doing a great job pressing up high as well here against Erik ten Hag's Manchester United. So very happy with how this is going so far. United yet to register a shot on target. We have had 8, so hopefully we can keep this up in the second half. No need to make changes yet, and we'll get the second half underway here with a nice comfy 2-0 lead. And only a few minutes into the second half, we have our first highlight here. David De Gea yet again looking to get Man United to play out from the back. This time they go long, but Andy Robertson does win that ball in the air. Interesting slide tackle on Jude Bellingham. Thankfully for United, it does not connect, but nice ball over the top there. Good chance for Luis Diaz, puts that in the back of the net. We are going to have to wait here, though, for a VAR check, but if this goes in the net and is given, that would nearly put this game to bed. Unfortunately, though, Diaz must have been offside. Nice ball there from Robbo. We'll just see how close this was. Nice ball over the top. He's only just offside there thanks to the centre-back at this near side, but he was offside so early on in the second half. Still 2-0 Liverpool. And we're just about to enter the last 20 minutes of this game. Certainly a quieter second half than the first half, but now Trent's picked up a yellow card. I think we're going to play things safe here and take off both players on yellow. So Diogo Jota will come on for Mohamed Salah, just coming back from an injury himself. And Joe Gomez will come on for Trent as we still hold that 2-0 lead. And a few minutes off the back of those first few substitutions, it is now Man United here with Varane right around the halfway line. Rafael Varane, who our assistant manager told us to not trigger a press on. We ignored that because that worked quite well in the first half, but they get on the front foot here. Do Man United. It's a little bit iffy at the back there. Martial gets a few good chances off the back of us nearly butchering, clearing our lines there, but thankfully that ball does not go over the line and it remains 2-0 Liverpool. And just entering the last 10 minutes of this game, time for us to make another few substitutions here. Fabinho is now down to a red heart. Thiago can, of course, play up to 60 minutes. We'll give him a little bit of game time here off the bench and put Jude Bellingham into the box-to-box role, because so far on a bit of an average rating, and the same can be said for Luis Diaz. So I think we'll give Harvey Elliott some game time in his place, still with that 2-0 lead. And we've only got a few minutes left in the game now, and Virgil van Dijk is down to a red heart, as are some other players. We'll give him a little bit of a rest here, because I think based on how this game's gone so far, we're looking pretty safe. So Ibrahim Konate can come on for him, and we'll see if we get any more highlights here with only a few minutes left of regular time. But that first half in particular, really good performance. Things certainly a lot more even in the second half. We have one more highlight here of Fran inside the final third, but Man United do deal with that, and they try and get something going here on the counter-attack. Nice long ball forward there from Harry Maguire. Martial with a chance, but just gets that to clip the top of the crossbar, going for that top right corner. And I think that will do it overall. Quite a comprehensive performance, as I said, especially the first half. That early penalty, quite debatable, but we did still put it away through Mo Salah, and then Darwin Núñez. Good pressing off the back of that, got a goal at the 25-minute mark, and we pick up a fairly comfortable 2-0 win. And based on the stats, I think it's hard to argue we did not deserve 3 points from that one. So that's going to put us in a really strong position on the Premier League table after 7 games played. As you can see here, I think in the intro I said we'd grab a 10-point gap. We kind of are, because it's over the main teams at Southampton, 8 points behind us, but that is still a very, very nice gap over those big title contenders with only 7 games gone. So already in a really strong position in the Premier League, and it will be even stronger if we can defeat Chelsea in the Premier League game, which is going to be coming up in tomorrow's episode. That game right off the back of our next one, which is against Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. We'll come back shortly, have a look at how the group looks off the back of that first match day before we take on Dortmund at Anfield. So a good win to start off today's episode, and off the back of that, it's our second game in the Champions League, one of the tougher ones we are going to have in our group this season as we take on Borussia Dortmund, albeit it is at Anfield, and this is an early chance for us here to take control of our Champions League group, because as you can see, Dortmund and Porto held each other to a 0-0 draw on the first match day, so this would be a good chance for us to grab a big break on Dortmund, and would almost put us in a good position to be qualifying from the group after only a few games played, as long as we don't bottle things as we take on Porto on the next couple of match days. But a good early chance for us here, as I said, to take control of this group. Dortmund going into this one, of course, a club which Jurgen Klopp has a strong affinity with in real life. So always interesting when Liverpool and Dortmund do take each other on. At the moment, they currently find themselves third in the Bundesliga, only a point behind both Bayern Munich and RB Leipzig. So that table is quite close at this early stage of the season. Does show just how good a job we are doing in the Premier League at the moment with Liverpool. But going back to their last known lineup, of course, we did pinch one of their better players just yesterday in Jude Bellingham, so it's going to make things tasty for this matchup. But they still have some very good threats, as was mentioned in the inbox. Julian Brandt in particular, yeah, but without Jude Bellingham, maybe they're going to be just a little bit less dangerous than they would have been now that he is on our side. Hopefully, he puts out a good performance here against his former club. Going over to the team news, we are pretty good going to this one. Thiago comes back into the starting lineup, and that means that Jordan Henderson drops out of the starting 11, and Jude Bellingham can play that box-to-box midfield role, which we did sign him to fill in place of Naby Keita. In Dortmund have a few players missing. Of course, Sebastian Haller out for obvious reasons, but also Thomas Meunier and Marco Reus are quite doubtful as well. So it could be a little bit of a weaker Dortmund team than we were expecting going into this one. And also nice Champions League graphics, and of course the Champions League anthem. So we'll have a listen to that one. We won't do that for every game, but we may as well for the first time that we are playing in the Champions League this season. And we'll come back shortly and have a gander at the team sheets as we take on Dortmund from Anfield. And we're just getting through the pre-match interview before this game, but I do have my headphones in today so I can tell not to talk over all the music when it does pop up. But here is what the Champions League graphics do look like pre-match, and holy hecker, here comes the anthem again. It looks very nice indeed. I think I'm about to shush. It sounds so nice. But just that one change, Thiago has come in for Jordan Henderson. There's Dortmund. They look all right, but no Bellingham. That's going to be a big issue for them, I suspect. And also missing those players we did see before with those niggly injuries, and that looks very nice indeed, doesn't it? Great work there by Sports Interactive with the Champions League license, also the walkout. And it just looks pretty, doesn't it? A little bit better even than what we thought it might be. Just a bit more deeper than what you get with those competition add-ons with the logo picks and whatnot. But that was very nice, and we'll get underway here in the second Champions League group stage game. And despite being well on top of Dortmund here, we've had to wait until the 26-minute mark for our first highlight in this one. It is Dortmund here who might get a chance through Julian Brandt, but thankfully a good block there, and Thiago does get back on the ball. We start to press forward here. Darwin Núñez, he finds Jude Bellingham. It's a little bit sketchy there, but he gets the ball back, buries that in the top right corner, and Jude Bellingham scores his first goal for Liverpool, and it's against his former team. Dortmund must be filthy with this, albeit they did get around about 110 million off us for that deal once all those add-ons do get triggered. But Jude Bellingham here tries to run through a gap. He actually looks for a pass. Not too sure who that was. He was trying to find it was Mo Salah. Gets the ball back, puts that into that top right corner. And just like that, as you can see, really good phase early for us here in this opening half hour. And we do grab, I think, a deserved 1-0 lead, and not too long off the back of that, another highlight here. And Darwin Núñez drops back nicely. And good pass there to find Andy Robertson. We'll put this one over to Luis Diaz-Bellingham, and a lot of space, and he is having an absolute blinder here against his former team. That is 2 goals in the space of only 3 minutes, given far too much space there on the edge of the box. Dortmund, of all teams, should know not to do that, and Jude Bellingham has well and truly arrived here at Liverpool in this game right from the top of that box and puts that into the top right corner, and a quick fire double makes it 2-0 Liverpool. And that is half time here in this Champions League group stage clash. Just those 2 highlights for 2 goals to Jude Bellingham, and as you can see, stats wise, well on top of Dortmund. Here's this vertical tiki-taka tactic, the 4-3-3, really working well yet again in this year's match engine. Unfortunately though, Jude Bellingham has picked up a knock very late in that first half. He is on a hat-trick. Could be a pulled groin though, so I think we're going to play things safe here. And despite the fact he is on that hat-trick against his former club, take him off here. We don't really want to do it, but we better play things safe, especially with games coming up against the likes of Chelsea in the Premier League. So Hendo will come on for him, and hopefully we can keep this up just like we did against Man United, as we are 2-0 up as we get the second half underway here against Dortmund at Anfield. And up to the hour mark, nothing happening so far in the second half, but a few players who I think we could take off at this time. Thiago was only recommended for 70-odd minutes in this game, so we'll take him off at the hour mark for Harvey Elliott. Also VBD down to a red heart, so Kanate can come on for him, and we still have our 2-0 lead. And 10 minutes off the back of those previous substitutions, time for us to make another couple here, our last couple in this game. We have Mohamed Salah down to a red heart, playing well, but we'll take him off and give some game time to Diogo Jota, and also both Trent and Robbo are down to red hearts. I think the best option on the bench here might be to give Trent a rest. Of course, he did play a little bit more football than most of these first team players have recently with that previous Champions League game where he did start as a Mazzala, so Joe Gomez can come on for him, and we are still 2-0 up here against Dortmund. And right off the back of those last couple of substitutions, we have a highlight here, the first one of the second half. We win the ball back there, but unfortunately Darwin Núñez heads that straight into the path of Thorgan Hazard, but they nearly lose position there. Do Dortmund, but get it back, and Matt Hummels tries to get them on the front foot here. They pick a nice ball out there for Wolf at left wing. They're going to put a ball here into the mixture, and it's really well hit there by Gio Reyna, and with one of their first real attacks of this game. You would have seen the stats before. We've been well on top of them in this one, but Dortmund give themselves a chance here to potentially give us a bit of an FMing. It was a good bit of play here, and Wolf with a nice ball into the box, and Reyna pretty much unmarked gets quite a bit of help there from the inside of the post, but it still finds its way into the back of the net, and Dortmund grab a goal back here with 15 minutes left, albeit another highlight here right off the back of that one. Good chance for Darwin Núñez, but it does come off the post from that free kick, and it is still 2-1 Liverpool. And we have entered the last 10 minutes of this one. A little bit nervy now with Dortmund scoring their only shot on target so far in this game. They try and play a ball forward there for Karim Adeyemi, but thankfully it's got a bit too much sauce on it, and Alisson Becker can tidy things up. One more goal here would be much appreciated. We definitely deserve all 3 points from this one, I feel, based on how the game has gone so far. But at the moment, still open for a bit of a comeback there for Dortmund, but that was an absolute sitter for Diogo Jota, but heads that over the bar. So still 2-1 going in to these final 5 minutes. Yet again, we play out from the back here off the back of a goal kick, and it's Fabinho. A bit of a loose first touch there, but thankfully Robertson does get the ball back there for us. So that was nearly a bit of an iffy moment there with a couple of minutes left, and we still look to play out from the back. This time Kanate is on the ball over for Robbo. He finds Luis Diaz, who starts to make his way into the final third of Dortmund, just inside the byline. Loose first touch, but we do put a ball yet again into the mixer for Diogo Jota, but that header yet again goes over the bar. So we are still creating chances here with only a few minutes left. We'll let this highlight roll just because I was about to start doing some time wasting things here, just in case. It helps make sure Dortmund don't get another chance here in injury time in this game. But Gomez now might find some space to play this ball up to Diogo Jota. We'll be able to put a ball here into the mixer, albeit Dortmund to cut that one out. But Fabinho, Elliott on the volley, that one just blazes over the top of the crossbar off the back of that highlight. We will start to time waste just a little bit, be slightly more disciplined, and also I think we'll slow the pace down with our goalkeeper distribution as well. And hopefully that means that Dortmund don't get another chance here in injury time, albeit we have a free kick here inside injury time. They head that clear to Adeyemi, We get the ball back. Also, Rayner gets the ball pinched off him. Darwin Núñez with a shot from outside the box. Also rockets that top right corner, just like Jude Bellingham in the first half. And that will seal it. Pretty comprehensive performance. But that goal back for Dortmund made things interesting. But in injury time, we make sure that we are going to pick up all 3 points here. Darwin Núñez with an absolute rocket into that top right corner. And that will make it 3-1 Liverpool and 3 points in this game. And 6 points from our first 2 games in the Champions League. We've been on absolute fire since that loss to Manchester City in the Community Shield. As you can see, based on the stats and just the shots on target, would have been really harsh if we did not win that game. 36 shots overall to 2. We were by far the better team. And thankfully, we just dealt with that slight comeback there from Dortmund and made sure that we picked up a 2-goal win. So that's going to put us in a really strong position in this group after only 2 match weeks. You might have seen before in the little drop-down menu in between those highlights that Porto were beating the Hungarian team by 5-0. And indeed, that is how things finish. This is what our group does look like after the second match week. We are on top with 6 points from 6. Porto behind us by 2 points, but then a big gap of 5 points back to Borussia Dortmund. So hopefully that is already a big enough gap to make sure we should be making our way through to the knockouts of the Champions League. So we continue to fly nice and high here at Liverpool off the back of that 3-1 win over Dortmund. And back in the inbox off the back of that win in the Champions League, thankfully no injury there to Jude Bellingham. So that is a bit of a relief off the back of him finding some form for the first time really since he has come to the club. A bit of a shaky start, but he found his form there against his former team with those 2 first half goals. And we are in a very nice position here in the saving the 2 competitions that we have already started. Quite a big gap on top of the Premier League, of course, and also in a strong position on top of our Champions League group. But that will do it for today's episode. If you did enjoy those 2 wins there in 2 pretty big games against Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. Tomorrow, the plan is to come back for yet another double header. We've got 1 more game before there is an international break, and it is quite a big one as well in the Premier League as we do take on Chelsea also at Anfield. If we can pick up a win there, we are in a really, really good position on top of the Premier League, and with a few easier fixtures coming up until the end of October when we do face Manchester City. Hopefully we'll be in quite a good position with a good buffer on those guys by the time we do get to that game, especially if we can beat Chelsea in that first game of tomorrow's episode. And off the back of that, we'll probably come back for that other home game in the Champions League group stage against Porto. A win there will put us right on the verge of already getting out of that group and into the first knockout rounds. So that is the plan for tomorrow's episode. So until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.